Well, just as the Eddies preparation begins long before they hit the pitch, so too does the broadcast team's day as they spend several hours preparing for the regular season game. Our regular season game typically takes a crew of about 20 people, putting in 14-hour days in order to set up, broadcast the game, and then eventually tear everything down. Certainly a long day in the service of soccer. The control truck arrives on game day to Clark Stadium about 10 a.m. and the technicians immediately begin setting up, running cable, setting up cameras, and preparing all the equipment.
Could you bring that up for me? Segment 3G.
The broadcast team as well has to prepare well in advance for each home game. We sat down with Eddie's color commentator, Steve Sander, to find out how he prepares for the telecast.
I'm the color commentator for FC Edmonton Broadcasts. I also blog, magazine edit, write books and stuff, so I'm pretty involved in the soccer community a lot of the time. The first thing that in every viewer will see it is that we do the tapes of our interviews, lots of the pre-game interviews you'll see with the coach or players, setting up the game. They're done usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before the match, depending on the practice schedule. Definitely try to get out to training at least 1 or 2 times if they're at home during that week, just to get a feel of who's playing, who's hurt, who might be playing, who might not be playing. You can see that in training. It's a big part of it. As well, it gives you a chance to chat with the players as well. I'm a big believer that if you're the color guy or a journalist who's covering a team, that you're accountable to them as well. I mean, if you're gonna say to a guy or say to your viewers on Saturday that this guy missed an assignment, or if this guy missed a play or made a poor decision, you gotta be able to look that guy in the eye at some time during the week. And I think that's important to be able to be there. And if a player would have a beef or something like that, saying maybe you didn't quite understand what was going through my head, I think that's important.
On game day, what time do you start work?
Usually get there about an hour and a half before kickoff. We have a bit of a script in terms of the opening of the show that you'll see. Tape that usually 1 or 2 times just to stutter over our words sometimes. And little things, Gareth and I will go over the pronunciation of players' names.
Tell us about how soccer color commentary might differ from other sports.
I think there is that point. I know the first season I was doing it with Gareth, right away the producer said, don't talk during scoring chances. Like if you see something, break off and just let your point come. And that's part of the education of doing this is you want to make a point, but you also you have to recognize when there are times in the play when you can talk, maybe during a throw-in, a goal kick, where people know what's happening, but they don't necessarily need to know that this player's taking a goal kick. But you also have to know, okay, wait, there's the action's going around the nets now. You need to let Gareth carry the broadcast. That was a learning process for me. But yeah, it's definitely not as intuitive as, let's say, doing baseball or football, where, okay, the play is stopped, now the color guy talks. There's between pitches, now the color guy talks. The color guy doesn't talk when the ball is in play. He'll wait until, the replays come in and they're in the huddle. I think that's a lot different than soccer, where you can say, okay, ball's in the middle of the field, they're just playing it back and forth a couple of kicks. It's time, to interject a point. And Gareth makes it pretty natural in the sense of leaving it for me to know where I can pick it up and to have a discussion about what we're seeing or maybe something that's happening in the game away from the play.
How do you balance loyalty to the team and loyalty to the fans?
I think first thing is you can never take your viewer for granted, and especially you can't. I find that open cheerleading will only tick off your viewers. They don't necessarily want to hear that. You have to show the warts as well. If a team's on a losing streak, FC Edmonton was a team that finished 3rd from the bottom in the standings last year. You can't cover those things up. I think fans get insulted when you try to put a positive spin on a bad result, and I think you have to be fair.
You guys almost ready to rock and roll?
Once all the equipment, crew, and the game announcer are in place, the director, Corey Chillibeck, makes sure everything is running smoothly and gets ready to call the game.
You won't need home starting lines. We'll use it off the bug.
His goal, make you feel like you're at Clark Stadium, even if you're in your own living room.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. Can we try that? Can we put the bug up and see it up on program? Oh, nice.
5, 4, 3, 2,
track gold,
1.
roll gold.
Nice.